Hey everybody. This video I want to do my tips for flying with kids. Um, my husband works for Delta, so we fly every now and then. So we were becoming quite pro at flying with children. Um, so I want to do my tips for flying with kids. I've got my list here. Um, Okay, so we just got back a few days ago from South Carolina, visiting my family, and we were there for a week. So I want to do my tips that from this last flight. So um, we had an early morning flight. Our flight left at 7:20 in the morning, so we had to be at the airport by like 5:30. So that means woken up our kids at like 4. So that being said, I find it easier to have an early morning flight like that rather than later in the afternoon. My reason is because you're waking up your kids, they are still tired, and they're more likely to go back to sleep on the airplane because they are tired. But if your kids are some that are ornery when they're woken up and get too restless that they don't go back to sleep, then yeah, obviously a morning flight is not going to work best for you. But for us, it worked best to find an early morning flight. We have also taken the red-eye flight that leaves at midnight. We have taken that before, and that was really nice because both kids slept. At that time, we didn't have Cohen, but both kids slept. So I find early morning flights are better. And my kids are almost 5. I have a 19-month-old and a 7-month-old. Just so you know, those are the ages that we fly with. If you can book a nonstop flight, book it. My reason for that is it's so hard getting your kids to sit in a seat. And then when you have to change planes, you have to unbuckle them, you have to unload everything off the plane, unload your kids, and then, an hour or two later, or however long your layover is, have to load everything back on, and they don't want to get back on. Trust me, it's really hard to get those kids back on the airplane once they are off. So if you can book a nonstop flight, book it, because it's just easier. I find it easier anyway to keep them in a seat for a longer period of time rather than keeping them there for a short period of time, getting off the plane and getting back on and trying to keep them there for another short period of time. I just find it easier to keep them there for a good chunk of time rather than switching seats all the time. If you have the means to book extra seats, book an extra seat for your child. Where we fly standby, we don't pay for seats, so we can book up to, well, we don't book seats. It's just kind of, if there's a seat empty on a plane, we get it. But we can put in for 5 seats if we want to, even though Cohen won't use one. Kaysen usually doesn't use one because he's still under 2. But if you can, book those extra seats because for one, it's going to give you the extra space, for your kids. If they get tired, they can lay flat on the seat. You're not going to be bugging someone else that has to be sitting next to you and you got a whiny toddler in your arms. And so if you can book the extra seats, book the extra seats. Let's see. Security. When you go through security, this can be a very, very stressful time with your children. Security is a stressful time for anybody, but when you add kids to that mix, it's even worse. So, have everything out that you need to show the TSA, such as formula and that kind of stuff, any medicines you have. Most of the time, they're not going to care about the formula. We've taken the big, like 12-ounce cans before, and I've never once had a problem, but I always keep it out. Just in case that one time we do have a problem, then I'm not trying to dig through a bag. So either take it out, just put it in the little box that they provide, or just put it at the top of your diaper bag or whatever bag it's in. So just have it ready, just in case that one time they're going to ask you for it. If you are flying alone, which I have done before when I was pregnant with Cohen, and I had Jackson and Kaysen was 11 months at the time. If you're flying alone, going through security is 10 times harder. So those little bins that they give you to put all your crap in to send it through security, put one down on the floor, stick your toddler in it, and he or she will be more likely to sit there because they think it's cool to be sitting in this little box, hand them one of their toys or whatever it is. That will give you time to put all your bags up on the thing, or to fold up your stroller. It'll give you that time where you're not trying to do it one-handed with a toddler in one hand and whatever. Put one down on the floor, stick your toddler in it. You can even do that if you are flying not by yourself. If you have your husband or whoever with you, you can still do that too, because then it gives you the extra hands. If you are wearing a wrap or like a sling or some kind of carrier to carry your child in, ask TSA when you get up there before you take it off if it's okay to wear it through the whatever it is, to wear it through security, because most of the time they're not going to make you take it off. They will let you wear it through security. One time I took it off and trying to get it all tied back on with my other kids, trying to get them into strollers and everything else. It was hectic, and I didn't even need to take it off. So ask when you get up there. Sometimes they will make you take it off depending on the airport. Sometimes they won't. So if you can leave it on, leave it on, because that just gives you 2 extra hands, you know, to do whatever. So leave your wrap on, or ask them if it's okay, because most of the time they're going to let you keep it on. Let's see. I think that's it for security. I think. Yeah. So I think that's it. When you are waiting in the airport, whether it be before your flight is taken off or during a layover, keep your child in their stroller or wrap or whatever it is you're carrying them in. Don't let them get out and run. I know some people say to let them get their energy out, let them run before they have to be strapped to a seat for hours on end. And for me personally, I find it easier to just keep them strapped in the seat, because if they get out of their seat or their stroller or whatever to run in the airport, they're not going to want to get back in to be strapped down. Some airports have the play areas. Like I said before, I don't suggest letting them get out to play in those, because when it comes time to get on your plane or go back to your gate or whatever, they're not going to want to be pulled away from those toys. They're just not going to want to. And it's going to be a screaming match, most likely, trying to get them back into a stroller and then being strapped into an airplane seat. So I suggest just leaving the play area alone. In flight, my tips for in flight. This is the hard part. Kids don't want to be strapped into a seatbelt in an airplane for a long time. They're just not going to want to. What we use, we have 2 Kindle Fires, and we downloaded a bunch of games and movies and that kind of stuff on it. And so when they would start getting restless and want to get down and whatnot, we would hand them one of these. And they can play little kid games, they can do puzzles, they can watch movies, they can do whatever on these things. So you pop in earphones if they want to listen to it, and it's good. So that keeps them busy. Also, I like the wall cleans, like those little gel window cleans that you can get. The Dollar Tree has them. Get a few of those, because if you are sitting by a window seat, they can sit and stick them to the window and re-peel them off and re-stick them as many times as they want. They can also do them on the tray table in front of them. This was very helpful for our kids. It kept them busy for about an hour, and then even later in the flight they still went back and played with them, because they can re-stick them, they can, you know, do different things with them, and it doesn't make a mess on the airplane or make the windows dirty or anything like that. So they are very helpful. Like I said, they can rearrange them however they want, as many times as they want. Then when you're done, you can just throw them away. But get a few of those for your flight there and flight back. And also, if you have to change planes, get one for the next plane. But like I said, you can, most of the time I find them at Dollar Tree, so if you can find them there, you know, it's not a lot. So, but we like those. Also, during in-flight, do not let them out of their seat to walk up and down the aisles. If they are walking up and down the aisles, they're going to think they can do that the whole time. And not only is it hard for you, it's annoying for everybody else on that plane. You don't want them bugging everybody else that paid for their seats and, you know, want quiet and don't want kids walking up and down the aisle bugging them. So keep them in their seat, because once they're out, they're going to think they can stay out, and that's not the case. So don't let them out of their seat. Keep them seated. Obviously, unless they have to go to the bathroom, that would be the only time to get them out of their seat. If your car seat, you have a car seat that is approved for in-flight use, bring it. Because not only is it safer for the child to be sitting in a nice, you know, strapped car seat, but it is also more safe and comforting to them, because they are used to sitting in their car seat. They are used to sleeping in their car seat, and it's going to make it a lot easier on you when they are quiet and comfortable in their seat. For Kaysen, we took his on the flight there. He has a Graco MyRide 65, and that is approved for in-flight use. But that seat is very big, and if your kid has long legs, it is not going to work, because they kick the seat in front of them. So anyway, so bring it if you can. It might work out to your advantage, it might not, but for us on the flight there, it actually worked quite well, because Kaysen was able to sleep. He was used to sleeping in his car seat, and that worked perfect for us. Also, bring treats and snacks and whatever you can on the plane, because that'll keep them busy. Most of the time, the flight attendants will give you extra snacks. They're pretty good to help. Kaysen, I think his ears were killing him this last time flying home, and he was screaming a lot of the way home. And the flight attendants are very helpful if you ask for extra treats or whatever. You know, most of the time in coach, they give you the little bag of peanuts or pretzels, and she actually went up to the first class and grabbed a bunch of like cookies and chocolate and all this kind of stuff. And so they were very sweet to help. So if you need the help, don't be afraid to ask, because most of the time they're going to be willing to help you. Even passengers around us have asked to help before. You know, people, if they fly a lot, they're going to be used to flying with kids, so they're more understanding, especially if they have kids of their own and have flown with them. It's just ask, because most of the time someone's going to be there to help, you know. And if that's another thing, if you're flying by yourself and you need to get up and go to the bathroom, there's usually a flight attendant or a passenger next to you that will be there, that will be willing to hold your child, or, you know, if they're sleeping on the seat, just watch them. People are really nice to help if you just ask. So always ask. Bring drinks in like a sippy cup, something like that, so when you take off and land, they can be drinking that, or nurse them, or whatever you do, because that'll help with their ears popping. So yeah, so I think that is it for my list of tips for flying with children. If you have any questions, please let me know, and I will do my best to answer them. If you have any comments, whatever, just let me know. So I think that is it, and I will talk to y'all later. Thanks, guys. Bye. Okay, I forgot to add my one other tip, so I'm just going to add this into the other video. My most important tip, and I can't believe I even forgot to mention it, is stay calm. Just breathe, because you are eventually going to get to your destination, and it's all going to be over. And if you get frustrated with your child during flight, or whatever, during the airport, during security, it's going to make them more frustrated. My husband is one who gets frustrated very easily, so it's me usually dealing with the ornery kids during flying and whatnot. But if you can stay calm and breathe, it's going to make the flight a lot easier, because it's not going to make your kids ornery. So yes, just breathe. Take it easy, and if your child's whiny, don't get upset with them. Most of the time, if they're crying in flight, it's because of their ears. So don't get frustrated with them, because most of the time it's not something they can control. So just breathe. Keep them busy, keep them entertained, play with them, talk to them, do what you got to do. Just keep them busy and don't get frustrated, because it's just going to make it 10 times worse, I promise you. So that's my most important tip, is to just stay calm, and it'll be over before you know it. So anyway, now that's it. Thanks guys, bye.